Love of the Invisibles. How Ash Found Violet, 17. Copyrighted 2015 by Nazeli Zelian. She did some more breathing exercises. She discovered that the slower she breathed, the more in control she was of her energy. She tried to capture her energy within herself, completely enveloping it around her. She imagined erasing words with letters and replacing them with images. Little by little, she was feeling surer that blocking her thoughts against Refi would start to work. Violet woke from the sound of approaching footsteps. A young woman holding a tray was walking towards her. She was wearing jeans and a thin blazer. Her lush long hair was bouncing about her shoulders. She noticed that the sun has turned down to its path to set and the air has gotten cooler. "Hi," the woman said with a friendly smile. Violet sensed that she was sincerely happy to see her. "I brought you dinner." She put down the tray on the small table next to the lounge chair. "I'm Amber." She stretched her hand to greet Violet. Violet took her hand and felt traces of familiar energy. "Are we related?" she asked curiously. "I knew you would sense that," Amber said, excited. "I'm your second cousin from your mother's side." She shined her gold brown eyes with a radiant smile. "I'm so excited to meet you at last. Everyone is. Most of us are ordinary invisibles living simple lives, but you're so special, like Refi and Gumper and some others," she said, losing her smile for a second. "Are there many invisibles around?" Violet asked. "Oh yes, but they're scattered around the northern states. In this area, there are just a couple of families in the farm, all related to each other one way or the other. When a matched couple gets married, they move away for a while, for a reason, until they learn to control their married lives." Violet remembered how she and Ash struggled to control their married life, but she just used her visual memory. No words occupied her mind. She saw herself and Ash on a hill on the way to Aunt Hermina, embracing and raising their energy, and how they had to stop abruptly not to send their energy of passion blasting throughout the pine. She closed her eyes to mingle in that moment for just a little while. "Are you all right?" Amber said, concerned. "Your face is turning red. Were you out long in the sun?" "I'm not sure," Violet said, returning to reality. "I was taking a nap, but I feel fine," she reassured Amber. "Oh," Amber took a deep breath. "I'm glad. I don't know what he would do if anything happens to you." "Who?" Violet asked, but she knew whom Amber was referring to. "Refi?" "Ah!" Amber gave an anxious sigh. "Better not talk about him." And Violet felt how her bubbly energy suddenly swayed to a kind of energy she was not familiar with. Was Amber frightened? "She's terrified from Refi," she thought. "She's not. You better stop talking about me and have your dinner." Violet got a message from Refi. Violet did not answer. She freed her mind, took the spoon, and sipped the warm soup. "Do you like it?" Amber said, regaining her smile. "I made it," she said with pride, when Violet nodded yes. "My mother scanned your health when you first arrived. She told me that you need food rich of vitamins. I blended local herbs with the broth and added some mushroom to boost your vitamin D content. You can stay in the morning sun to generate more of the vitamin along with what you would get with the food I will bring you." "Thank you, Amber. I will do that," Violet said. "Once you feel better, we can go to the woods to pick mushrooms. You'll see the river, the meadows. It's beautiful out here," Amber said, excited. "I have male cousins, but you're the only female cousin. I hope we become friends," she said, gently touching her hand. Violet smiled warmly at her. She instantly felt that Amber is genuine. Her positive energy was easy to recognize. She looked a year or two younger than herself, but there was a possibility of good match of friendship. She also realized that Amber had no idea of her being a captive or pregnant. "How did you get into the house?" Violet asked. "Through the front door, of course," Amber laughed. You left it open, she continued. You know there's no crime out here, but Mom locks it when we go to bed at night, although I assure her that it is not necessary. Violet imagined Refi deactivating the senses for Amber to get in. No thought permeated from Refi to her thoughts on that account. She rejoiced in her mind for image thinking, free of Refi's interference. Please stay with me for a while, she asked Amber. Amber pulled another chair closer and comfortably lounged on it. Ah, Nori keeps a good garden. He must have a green thumb. The gardener's name sounded familiar, but Violet did not remember where she had heard it. It will get dark soon, Amber said. Would you like to get inside after you have your dinner? Yes, Violet said, enjoying her salad and greens, having finished her soup. I don't recognize half of those greens, but they're delicious. They're wild greens. Mom says that I have a gift of combining food to be most beneficial for health. After all, I have some of the blood of the goddess of life and fertility running through my veins, she said proudly. When Violet looked at Amber with a questioning look, she clarified. Anahit, your ancestor. I saw an image carved in stone at the ruins of the old city of Erebuni in Yerevan. You look exactly like her. Do people out here know that I'm here in this house? Violet asked. Just the invisibles that are family. Mom says it is for your protection, Amber explained. You're like a goddess, like a celebrity in city people's world. But you're not measured by beauty, but power, gifts, and your abilities, and your unique energy. Anyway, you need to be protected, or so I was told. Invisibles around here won't harm you, but there are some city people that are getting some sort of training from, you know who. They would not lose time to make you study subject, as Mom put it. Violet knew by now that she was afraid to pronounce Refi's name. Most likely it was a trigger for Refi to tune into the minds of the ones he was related to, and Amber was related to Refs. I was asked to protect you, she said with pride. He had the senses around the house, but Mom said that Camper was already snooping around. Oh, that man scares me. Don't you worry, I have put a protective shield around the house so strong that not even cockroaches can crawl in. Oh, Violet squinted her eyes with disgust. Oh no, it was just a figure of speech. There are no such bugs around here, Amber corrected herself. So, that's how she got in, Violet Image thought. You're able to put protective shield around large places then? Violet asked. Yep, that's one of my gifts, Amber said proudly. You shouldn't worry. I will aid you in every way. I was told to keep you hidden until the weather got cold and the city people left the town. Then we will go out and explore the lake and the forest. This place is so beautiful. Violet wanted to think of ways to escape, but she halted herself from using words for thinking. She imagined doing it later, perhaps at night, when her prying mind intruder was sound asleep. Mom let me off of my duties to keep you company, if you like, Amber said. I can spend the night here. I can't imagine you being alone in the house. It will be lonely. Thanks, Amber, Violet said. I've spent many nights alone until recently, so I'm used to it. In any case, do you want to establish a channel of communication with me so you can call me if you need me? Amber said casually. How do you do that? Violet asked. Well, the closer the relation, the easier. Some communication happens automatically, like my mother and I sending messages back and forth. But with you, since we're second cousins, we hold hands and find compatible energy and connect. When you want to reach me, you just imagine me or say my name, and your brain will open our communication channel. It is like establishing and finding a contact on a cell phone, although invisibles are much more evolved with cognitive abilities than city people. What city people use with technology is what we do with our minds. In fact, many invisibles are behind the development of such technology. They just don't take credit for it because we work behind the scenes, not out in the open. It has been like this for centuries. Violet remembered how Ash did business with the city people, friends. He was most likely involved with medical aspects of technology. Thinking about him was such a comfort, but she was afraid that Refi would tune in again. She would have a mental image recall later, so it would be a private remembrance. Did Ash know who abducted her? Somehow Violet was sure he knew, but she thought he wanted to keep her from finding out before they knew each other better. Even Aunt Hermina was careful with her words, Violet realized when she saw her mental image talking about her late husband. So, shall we? Amber stretched her hand. Violet stretched hers, and when they held hands, she said, Now release a small amount of your energy. Just think about it, and it will happen automatically. Yes, like that. Okay, scan complete. You sound like you're working with computers, Violet said. And who do you think invented them? Amber asked. We could scan since the beginning of time. City people just got the technology at the end of last century. In fact, they have to be mentally ready to accept a new idea for us to invent new technology comparable to our natural abilities. She had released her hand by then. Let's check this now. So, how is it working? Amber sent her a message. Quite well, Violet smiled. That's it then. I must be off. She sent her another message. Mom requires me to scan the area and put a shield around so foxes will keep away from our chicken, Amber said. I will check the one around this house too, so you will be safe. She gave Violet a warm hug and walked to the door. Good night. Buzz me if you need me.